Hello dear listeners, welcome to another episode of Mythological Stories to accompany your dreams. I am your narrator, and today we're diving deep into Norse mythology to explore Yggdrasil, the majestic world tree. Before we begin our journey through the 9 realms, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. It's thanks to your support that we can continue bringing these fascinating stories directly to you. Also, please leave a comment telling us which city and country you're listening from. We love knowing that our stories cross borders and connect people from all corners of the world. Imagine a tree so immense that its branches support entire worlds, while its deep roots reach underground realms where even the gods dare not frequently tread. A tree that has existed since the beginning of time and will endure until the end of everything. This is Yggdrasil, the axis of the Norse universe. Tonight, we will explore the mysteries of this sacred tree that connects the 9 worlds of Norse cosmology. You'll meet the creatures that inhabit it, the gods who depend on it, and the ancestral secrets guarded within its eternal wood. Yggdrasil is not just a tree, it is the very fabric of reality for the ancient northern peoples. It is the path by which gods travel, the source of sacred wisdom, the cradle and grave of civilizations. Its branches touch the highest heavens, while its roots penetrate the deepest abysses. Make yourself comfortable, relax, and allow your mind to travel with us through the branches of Yggdrasil. Let yourself be carried away on a journey beyond time and space, as we unravel the secrets of the great cosmic tree that supports all worlds, known and unknown. Prepare to meet gods and giants, elves and dwarves, heroes and monsters, all connected by the eternal branches of the tree that is the beating heart of the Norse cosmos. This is the story of Yggdrasil, the world tree. In the beginning, there was only the great void known as Ginnungagap. To the north of this vast emptiness lay Niflheim, a realm of ice and mist, while to the south burned the fiery realm of Muspelheim. Where fire and ice met within the void, they created the first being, the giant Ymir, and the cow Audhumbla, whose milk nourished Ymir. From Ymir's body, the first gods Odin, Vili, and Ve were born. These 3 brothers would eventually slay the giant Ymir and use his enormous body to create the world. From his flesh they made the earth, from his blood, the seas and lakes, from his bones, the mountains, from his hair, the trees, and from his skull, the great dome of the sky. But the cosmos needed structure, a central axis to hold everything together. Thus, the gods created Yggdrasil, the immense ash tree that would connect and sustain all worlds. Its name itself carries deep meaning, Ygr being one of Odin's many names, and Drasil meaning horse or bearer. Yggdrasil then is literally Odin's horse, referring to how the god would later hang himself from its branches in his quest for wisdom. The creation of Yggdrasil marked the beginning of order in the Norse cosmos. Unlike many other mythological world trees that grow from seeds, Yggdrasil was established by divine will, planted by the gods themselves to bring structure to the newly formed worlds. Its roots and branches stretched out to connect realms that would otherwise remain forever separate. As Yggdrasil grew, it developed 3 main roots, each extending toward a different source of cosmic wisdom and power. One root reached toward Asgard, home of the Aesir gods. Another stretched to Jotunheim, the realm of giants, and the third descended to Niflheim, the primordial world of mist and cold that contained Hvergelmir, the roaring cauldron source of many rivers. The establishment of Yggdrasil brought both stability and dynamic tension to the Norse universe. While the tree provided structure and connection between worlds, it also became the site of ongoing conflict and renewal. From its earliest days, creatures sought to damage it, while others worked to maintain its health, creating a constant cycle of destruction and healing. Among the first beings to make their home in Yggdrasil was the wise giant Mimir, who guarded one of the springs at its roots. Mimir's well contained immense wisdom, and it was said that even Odin himself gave up one of his eyes for a single drink from these waters. Thus, from its very origin, Yggdrasil became not just the physical center of existence, but a source of knowledge and power. The emergence of Yggdrasil transformed the chaotic post-creation universe into an interconnected cosmic organism pulsing with life and mystery. The tree became the living embodiment of time itself, its ever-growing branches reaching toward future possibilities, while its ancient roots remained firmly anchored in the primordial past. Yggdrasil's massive form defies ordinary comprehension. Imagine a tree so vast that entire realms rest upon its branches and within its trunk. Its crown reaches heights where no mortal eye can see, disappearing into cosmic mists beyond the stars. Its trunk is wider than mountains, with bark textured by the passage of eons, marked with ancient runes and cosmic patterns that tell the story of creation itself. The 9 worlds of Norse cosmology are all connected through Yggdrasil's sprawling structure. At the highest level rests Asgard, the shining realm of the Aesir gods with its gleaming halls and golden-roofed palaces. Connected to Asgard by the Rainbow Bridge Bifrost is Midgard, the middle realm and home to humans, encircled by a great ocean that holds the world serpent Jörmungandr. Below Midgard lies Jotunheim, the wild and rugged homeland of the giants, those primal beings who both oppose and sometimes ally with the gods. This realm is characterized by towering mountains, deep valleys and untamed wilderness that reflects the chaotic nature of its inhabitants. Adjacent to Jotunheim is Vanaheim, the more peaceful domain of the Vanir gods, associated with fertility, wisdom and nature. Deeper within Yggdrasil's structure are the realms of Alfheim and Svartalfheim. Alfheim is bathed in eternal light, home to the light elves who are said to be fairer than the sun to look upon. In stark contrast, Svartalfheim, or Níðhöggr, is the underground kingdom of the dwarves, master craftsmen who forged many of the gods' greatest treasures in their subterranean forges. Near the lowest reaches of Yggdrasil's roots lies Niflheim, the primordial realm of ice and mist, and alongside it, Muspelheim, the land of fire and home to fire giants and their ruler, Surtur. Between these 2 opposing realms is Hel, the cold domain of the dead ruled by the goddess of the same name, where those who did not die gloriously in battle are sent. The 3 great roots of Yggdrasil extend to 3 crucial sources, one to the well of Urd in Asgard, where the Norns weave the fates of all beings, another to Mimir's well of wisdom in Jotunheim, and the third to the spring Hvergelmir in Niflheim, from which flow 11 rivers known as the Elivagar. Each of these sources nourishes the great tree in different ways. What makes Yggdrasil truly remarkable is that these 9 worlds exist, not as separate planets or dimensions, but as interconnected regions within the cosmic tree itself. Some worlds rest among its highest branches, others cling to its massive trunk, while yet others nestle among or beneath its roots. The tree itself provides pathways between these realms, though traveling these paths often requires special knowledge or abilities. Despite its seemingly impenetrable nature, Yggdrasil contains hidden paths and gateways known as world cracks, through which gods, heroes, and certain creatures can pass between realms. These cosmic shortcuts are jealously guarded secrets, for unrestricted travel between worlds could threaten the delicate balance that Yggdrasil maintains across all existence. And deep beneath the 3rd root of Yggdrasil, coiled in the misty depths of Niflheim, dwells one of the tree's greatest adversaries, the terrible dragon Níðhöggr. This fearsome worm ceaselessly gnaws at the root, trying to destroy the foundation of the world itself. Níðhöggr is not merely a beast, but a primordial force of chaos and destruction, feeding on the corpses of the dishonorable dead and working to undermine the cosmic order represented by the world tree. At the opposite end of Yggdrasil, perched among the highest branches overlooking all the worlds, sits a majestic eagle without a name. This great bird possesses immense wisdom and watches over the 9 realms with keen eyes that miss nothing. Between its eyes sits a hawk called Vedrfölnir, who serves as an additional lookout. Together, they represent the vigilance and higher awareness that guards the cosmos against threats. Perhaps the most peculiar resident of the world tree is Ratatoskr, a swift squirrel whose name means drill tooth in Old Norse. This small, but crucial creature runs up and down the trunk of Yggdrasil, carrying insults and rumors between the eagle at the top and Níðhöggr at the bottom. Ratatoskr delights in creating conflict, delivering provocative messages that keep the eternal enmity between the eagle and the dragon alive and burning. Grazing upon the branches of Yggdrasil are 4 noble stags, Dain, Dvalin, Duneyr, and Durathor. These magnificent creatures feed on the fresh shoots and leaves of the world tree. Some tales suggest they represent the 4 winds or the 4 seasons, eternally cycling through the worlds. Their constant browsing creates a balance, trimming back excessive growth while their saliva is said to have healing properties that benefit the tree. Lesser known but equally important are the Norns, Urdra, past, Verdandi, present, and Skuld, future. These 3 maidens dwell near the well of Urdra beneath one of Yggdrasil's roots. Each day they draw water from the well and mix it with the sand around it to create a magical clay that they spread on Yggdrasil's trunk to prevent it from rotting. Through this daily ritual, they preserve the world tree against decay and maintain the flow of time itself. The trunk and branches of Yggdrasil also serve as home to countless smaller creatures. Whispers from ancient skalds tell of magical birds that sing songs of forgotten wisdom, swarms of bees that produce cosmic honey, and mysterious serpents that slither along paths known only to them. Each of these beings plays its part in the ecological and mystical balance of the world tree. More ephemeral inhabitants include the dew that falls from Yggdrasil's leaves each morning. This is no ordinary moisture, but rather a sacred substance, called Helheim vatn, holy water, that refreshes and revitalizes all the worlds below. It is said that this dew is so pure that it serves as the only sustenance needed by the Valkyries' horses as they ride through the 9 realms collecting fallen warriors. Among the most feared inhabitants are the Hrimnir, frost giants who occasionally attempt to climb Yggdrasil to reach Asgard. These journeys are perilous, as the bark of the cosmic tree itself sometimes comes alive to shake off unwelcome travelers, and Thor, the thunder god, stands ever ready to defend the upper realms against giant intruders who would disrupt the order, maintained by the world tree and its more benevolent residents. Perched at the highest reaches of Yggdrasil's crown lies Asgard, the shining citadel of the Aesir gods. Surrounded by an immense wall built by a giant mason, whom Thor later defeated when he demanded the sun, moon, and goddess Freya as payment, Asgard represents the pinnacle of divine order and power in the Norse cosmos. Its golden halls gleam with an otherworldly light, visible from distant realms as a beacon of divine majesty and authority. The heart of Asgard is Yggdrasil, a central plain where the gods gather for their councils and assemblies. Here stands Gladsheim, the great hall where Odin presides over the gods' meetings from his throne, Hlidskjalf. From this elevated seat, the All-Father can gaze out across all 9 worlds, keeping watch over friends and foes alike. No event of significance in any realm escapes his one-eyed vigilance, especially when complemented by the reports of his ravens, Hugin and Munin. Perhaps the most renowned structure in Asgard is Valhalla, Odin's magnificent hall of the slain. Its roof is thatched with golden shields, its rafters are spears, and it features 540 doors so wide that 800 warriors can march through each one abreast. Here, the Einherjar, brave warriors who died honorably in battle, feast every night on the meat of the magical boar Serimnir and drink mead served by Valkyries, preparing for their ultimate role in Ragnarok. Not far from Valhalla stands Valskirnir, the vast hall of Thor with its 540 rooms. From here, the thunder god rides out in his goat-drawn chariot to battle the enemies of gods and men. Other notable divine residences include Breidablik, the beautiful hall of Baldur, said to be the most beautiful place in all the realms where nothing impure can exist, and Fensalir, the marshy hall of Frigg, Odin's wife and queen of Asgard. Connecting Asgard to Midgard is Bifrost, the rainbow bridge guarded by the ever-vigilant god Heimdall. This shimmering pathway allows the gods to travel between realms and is said to burn with actual fire, its 3 colors representing the bridge's strength, heat and magical protection. Heimdall stands eternal watch at its entrance, ready to sound his horn Gjallarhorn at the first sign of threats approaching the divine realm. Among the most wondrous features of Asgard is Yggdrasil's highest branch itself, which emerges through the realm's very center. This living connection to the world tree provides the gods with direct access to the cosmic energies that flow through all creation. Near this central point grows Glacier, a magnificent tree with leaves of red gold that stands before the doors of Valhalla, symbolizing the wealth and splendor of the god's realm. At the edge of Asgard lies Himinbjörg, Heimdall's dwelling located at the Bifrost's upper terminus. From here, the white god with golden teeth and perfect hearing can detect the sound of wool growing on sheep or grass sprouting from the earth. His senses stand as Asgard's early warning system, the first line of defense against the forces that would destroy the gods and their celestial home. The waters of Asgard are no less remarkable than its structures. The well of Urd, tended by the Norns, provides the sacred waters that sustain Yggdrasil. Nearby flows Mimisbrunn, the well of the wise giant Mimir, containing all wisdom and understanding. It was here that Odin sacrificed his eye for a single drink, gaining the foresight and knowledge that would help him prepare for the eventual coming of Ragnarok and the crucial role that Yggdrasil would play in the world's ending and rebirth. Midgard, the realm of humans, occupies a unique position in Yggdrasil's cosmic architecture. Nestled at the middle level of the world tree, neither as exalted as Asgard above, nor as shadowed as the realms below, Midgard forms a perfect middle ground from which humans observe and interact with the greater cosmos. The very name Midgard translates to middle enclosure, signifying humanity's place between higher and lower powers. This realm connects to Yggdrasil through both visible and invisible means. While humans cannot physically see the world tree, as gods might, ancient Norse people believed that certain sacred trees in their forests represented physical manifestations of Yggdrasil's essence. Great ash trees in particular were often venerated as local embodiments of the cosmic tree, serving as ritual centers where communities would gather to honor the gods and the world's structure. Unlike the gods of Asgard, who can traverse Yggdrasil's paths at will, humans experience their connection to the world tree primarily through ritual and spiritual practice. Shamanic practitioners known as Völvas and cider workers were believed to be able to send their consciousness along Yggdrasil's branches, achieving trance states that allowed them to visit other realms and gather wisdom from gods, ancestors, and other beings. These spiritual journeys represented humanity's limited but significant ability to interact with the greater cosmic structure. For ordinary Norse people, Yggdrasil provided an essential cosmological framework that helped explain their place in the universe. The knowledge that their world was held within the embrace of the mighty world tree gave context to human existence and connected daily life to greater cosmic patterns. Seasonal festivals often celebrated aspects of Yggdrasil's cycle, its renewal in spring, fullness in summer, and the drawing inward of energy during winter months. The well-being of Midgard was understood to be directly tied to the health of Yggdrasil. When natural disasters struck, famine, disease, or harsh weather, many Norse communities interpreted these as signs that the world tree was suffering from increased attacks by Níðhöggr or other destructive forces. In response, they would perform rituals to symbolically strengthen Yggdrasil, believing that by supporting the cosmic tree, they could restore balance to their own realm. Central pillars in Norse homes, known as high seat pillars or Öndvegissulur, were carved with sacred symbols and often represented a household's connection to Yggdrasil. When Norse families relocated, especially during the settlement of Iceland, these pillars were among the most precious items brought along. Upon approaching a new shore, the pillars would be cast into the water, and where they washed ashore was deemed the divinely appointed location for establishing a new homestead. The concept of Yggdrasil also influenced how humans viewed their own mortality. Norse tradition held that human fate was written by the Norns who dwelled at Yggdrasil's roots. This created a complex relationship with destiny, while one's wired, personal fate was already woven into the pattern of existence. How one faced that fate remained a matter of personal choice and courage. Many warriors embraced the idea that their threads in the cosmic tapestry were already measured, giving them fearlessness in battle. Perhaps most profound was how Yggdrasil connected humans to both their ancestors and descendants. The world tree existed outside normal time, its roots reaching deep into the past, while its highest branches touched the future yet to come. Through rituals honoring the tree, humans could feel connected to those who came before and those who would follow, creating an unbroken chain of existence where each generation formed but one link in an eternal pattern stretched across Yggdrasil's immense span. Among the most profound tales associated with the World Tree is Odin's self-sacrifice upon its branches. Driven by an unquenchable thirst for wisdom and foresight, the All-Father undertook a ritual so extreme that it has echoed through the ages as the ultimate example of suffering for knowledge. In his own words from the Havamal, "I know that I hung on a windy tree for 9 full nights, wounded with a spear and given to Odin myself to myself, on that tree of which no man knows from where its roots run." Odin's ordeal began with his deliberate choice to hang himself from Yggdrasil's branches, pierced by his own spear, Gungnir. This was no impulsive act, but a carefully considered sacrifice, the highest god offering himself to himself, creating a ritual circuit of power that transcended ordinary magic. By becoming both sacrificer and sacrificed, Odin created a perfect mystical paradox that opened doorways to knowledge otherwise forever sealed. For 9 days and 9 nights, the All-Father hung in torment, without food or drink, his body weakening. As his spirit ventured into realms of consciousness no being had previously explored. The number 9 held special significance in Norse cosmology, representing completion and the 9 worlds themselves. As Odin suffered through each day, he symbolically journeyed through each of Yggdrasil's connected realms, gaining insight into their deepest mysteries. As life ebbed from his divine form, Odin's consciousness expanded beyond normal boundaries. His physical eye had already been sacrificed for a drink from Mimir's well of wisdom, and now his spiritual vision opened to perceive the very foundations of reality. In this state of approaching death, while unable to truly die, he entered a liminal space where the secrets of existence could be grasped, including the runic alphabet, the magical language that underlies creation itself. At the moment of greatest suffering, when Odin's divine form hung between life and death, the runes revealed themselves to him. With a great cry, he reached down and seized them up, comprehending, in an instant, their shapes, sounds, and magical properties. This knowledge came at terrible cost, not merely physical pain, but the experience of ego death itself, as his identity dissolved and reformed around these new cosmic insights. The runes Odin discovered were far more than a writing system. They were living magical formulas encoding the fundamental forces that shaped the 9 worlds. Each symbol contained not just a sound, but a concept, a piece of the universe's operating principles. By grasping these, Odin gained the power to influence reality at its most basic level, understanding how the threads of creation were woven through Yggdrasil's vast structure. Upon returning to himself, forever transformed by his ordeal, Odin shared selective runic knowledge with gods and eventually humans, though he kept the deepest secrets for himself alone. This established the tradition of Galder, magical chanting of runic formulas, which became one of the primary ways beings could interact with Yggdrasil's power. Through proper combination of runes, one could theoretically affect any aspect of the 9 worlds, though such power always came with proportional risk. The site of Odin's sacrifice became the most sacred point on the entire World Tree, a place where the barriers between realms grew thin. Those who knew the proper rituals could sometimes access echoes of Odin's original experience, gaining fragments of wisdom through their own lesser sacrifices and ceremonies. Even today, some believe that certain ash trees growing at sacred sites maintain a connection to that primordial moment when the god of wisdom hung between worlds, forever changing the relationship between consciousness and Yggdrasil's cosmic mystery. As the great cosmic cycle of Norse mythology approaches its end, Yggdrasil plays a central and tragic role in the events of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods. The first signs of the approaching doom manifest directly in the World Tree itself. Yggdrasil begins to tremble, its mighty trunk shuddering from root to crown. This cosmic quaking signifies the weakening of the bonds between worlds and the coming unraveling of the order established at creation. The attacks that Yggdrasil has endured throughout the ages, Níðhöggr's constant gnawing at its roots, the browsing of the four stags upon its branches, and countless other minor wounds, finally take their cumulative toll. The tree's vibrant green crown begins to wither, and cracks spread through its ancient bark. As the world tree suffers, so do all 9 realms connected to it, with natural disasters increasing across Midgard and discord growing even among the gods in Asgard. When Heimdall finally sounds his horn Gjallarhorn, announcing the beginning of the final battle, Yggdrasil's stress reaches its peak. The Bifrost Bridge shatters under the weight of enemies marching toward Asgard, and the world tree itself becomes a battlefield. Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent, releases its tail from around the human realm and uses Yggdrasil's trunk to climb toward its fated confrontation with Thor, leaving poisonous burns along the tree's bark. During the catastrophic battles of Ragnarok, as fire giant Surtur sets the 9 worlds ablaze with his flaming sword and the wolf Fenrir swallows Odin whole, Yggdrasil stands as the last remnant of cosmic order. Though burning and damaged, the world tree's immense vitality allows it to endure even as the worlds it connects fall into chaos. Its deep roots draw upon primordial waters that even Surtur's flames cannot completely evaporate. According to some interpretations of the ancient texts, particularly the Völuspá, Yggdrasil does not perish entirely in Ragnarok, though it is grievously wounded. As the fires die down and the waters that consumed most of creation begin to recede, the charred but living trunk of the world tree remains, the only survivor of the old cosmos and the seed from which a new creation will eventually emerge. In this new world rising after Ragnarok, Yggdrasil serves as both memory and promise. The surviving gods, primarily the sons of Odin and Thor along with Balder returned from Hel, gather beneath the recovering branches of the world tree to share tales of what was lost and plan what is to come. The tree that once connected 9 realms now fosters the rebirth of a simpler cosmos with fewer divisions between worlds. Some Norse poems hint that within Yggdrasil's trunk, 2 humans, Leif, life, and Lifthrasir, eager for life, find shelter during the destruction of Ragnarök. Protected within the heartwood of the world tree, they emerge afterward as the progenitors of a new human race. Their survival suggests that Yggdrasil not only structures the cosmos, but serves as an ark preserving the essence of creation through cosmic catastrophe. Perhaps most poignantly, the world that rises after Ragnarok is said to feature a new incarnation of the world tree, not a completely different entity, but Yggdrasil, reborn and healed. Its renewed form represents hope and continuity amid tremendous change, suggesting that even in Norse mythology's cyclical view of time, some elements are so fundamental to existence that they endure in some form across cosmic deaths and rebirths. The world tree remains, connecting what was to what will be, an eternal axis around which all possibilities revolve. The concept of a world tree is not unique to Norse mythology. Similar cosmic trees appear across numerous cultures, suggesting a deep archetypal significance in human understanding of the universe. In ancient Mesoamerica, the Maya believed in Yaxche, a saber tree that connected the underworld, earth, and heaven. This sacred tree stood at the center of creation, its roots reaching into Xibalba, the underworld, while its branches supported the heavens, a striking parallel to Yggdrasil's structure. Eastern philosophies offer their own variations of the world tree concept. In Hindu cosmology, the cosmic fig tree Ashvatha grows upside down with roots in the heavens and branches extending downward into the material world. Buddhist traditions speak of the Bodhi tree, under which Buddha achieved enlightenment. While not a world tree in the strictest sense, it represents a cosmic axis where transcendent knowledge becomes accessible, much like Odin's experience hanging from Yggdrasil. Indigenous cultures across North America have integrated world tree symbolism into their spiritual frameworks. The Iroquois speak of the Tree of Peace, beneath which weapons were buried to establish harmony among nations. Among the Ojibwe, there are tales of a great pine that connects different levels of existence. These variations share with Yggdrasil the concept of a living connector between seemingly separate domains of reality, though with less emphasis on impending cosmic destruction. Scholars have noted intriguing parallels between Yggdrasil and the Tree of Life in Kabbalah, the Jewish mystical tradition. Both serve as comprehensive models of reality, with different regions representing various aspects of existence. The Kabbalistic tree maps divine attributes and their interactions, while Yggdrasil maps physical and metaphysical realms. Both traditions use their respective trees as contemplative tools for understanding one's place in the greater cosmic order. Modern literature, particularly fantasy and science fiction, has drawn heavily from the concept of Yggdrasil. J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth features the two trees of Valinor, and later the White Tree of Gondor, reflecting his deep knowledge of Norse mythology. These aren't exact analogues to the World Tree, but carry similar symbolic weight as cosmic anchors. More explicitly, authors like Neil Gaiman in American Gods directly reference Yggdrasil as an existing metaphysical reality within their fictional universes. Contemporary gaming culture has embraced Yggdrasil with particular enthusiasm. Games, like God of War 2018, feature the World Tree as a central element of their reimagined Norse setting. The massively multiplayer game, Final Fantasy XIV, incorporates a direct reference with its crystal tower named Circus that functions as a world-connecting tree. These modern interpretations introduce millions of people to this ancient concept, often inspiring them to explore the original mythology. Scientific metaphors occasionally echo the concept of Yggdrasil, the evolutionary tree of life, depicting the relationships between all living organisms, shares structural similarities with the World Tree. Both have a single trunk representing common origins, with increasingly numerous and diverse branches representing specialized development. While biology makes no metaphysical claims about its tree, the visual and conceptual parallels are striking and perhaps speak to human tendencies to organize understanding through branching structures. Beyond specific cultural parallels, Yggdrasil represents a profound archetypal pattern in human consciousness, the desire to find meaningful connections between seemingly disparate aspects of existence. Whether through religious world trees, philosophical systems, or scientific frameworks, humans consistently create models that, like Yggdrasil, help us comprehend our place within a complex, multi-layered reality. The World Tree's enduring appeal, across cultures and throughout history, speaks to its resonance with something fundamental in how we make sense of our universe and our place within it. As our journey through the branches of Yggdrasil comes to an end, we find ourselves reflecting on the profound significance of this cosmic tree in Norse mythology and beyond. We've traveled from its roots deep in the primordial waters to its crown brushing against the highest heavens. We've met the creatures that dwell within its mighty structure and witnessed the gods who depend upon its stability. Through all these tales, one thing becomes clear. Yggdrasil is far more than a mere tree. It is the very framework of existence itself. The World Tree reminds us that all things are connected in ways we may not immediately perceive. Just as Yggdrasil links the 9 realms of Norse cosmology, allowing beings to travel between worlds that would otherwise remain separate, it encourages us to look for the hidden connections in our own lives. The boundaries we perceive between past and present, between ourselves and others, may be more permeable than we imagine, much like the paths that wind through Yggdrasil's branches. The resilience of the World Tree offers another powerful lesson. Despite constant attacks from Níðhöggr below and countless other threats throughout its existence, Yggdrasil endures. Even in the apocalyptic vision of Ragnarok, when gods fall and worlds burn, the essence of the tree somehow survives to nurture new life in the world that follows. This persistence speaks to the indomitable nature of life itself. Wounded, yes, challenged, certainly, but ultimately unyielding in its drive to continue. Odin's sacrifice upon Yggdrasil's branches reveals yet another dimension of the World Tree, its role as a catalyst for transformation. By surrendering himself to the tree's power, the All-Father transcended his limitations and gained wisdom beyond measure. The tree served not merely as gallows, but as a threshold between states of being. Perhaps this suggests that our greatest challenges the moments when we feel most vulnerable, contain seeds of profound growth and insight. In our modern world, far removed from the time when Norse skalds first shared these tales around glowing hearths, Yggdrasil still offers a compelling metaphor for understanding our place in an increasingly complex universe. Science reveals connections between all living things through evolutionary relationships and ecological interdependence. Digital networks link humans across vast distances in ways our ancestors might have attributed to the magic of the world tree. The ancient symbol retains its power to help us make sense of our reality. Before we part ways, I'd like to invite you to join us for future explorations of mythology's greatest stories. In upcoming episodes, we'll delve into other cosmic frameworks, heroic journeys, and divine dramas from cultures around the world. Each tale offers unique insights into the human experience and our eternal quest to understand the mysteries that surround us. The myths may be ancient, but their wisdom remains timeless, waiting to be discovered anew by each generation. If you've enjoyed this journey through the branches of Yggdrasil, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support makes it possible for us to continue bringing these mythological treasures to listeners around the world. And don't forget to share in the comments which city and country you're listening from. It's always wonderful to see how far these ancient stories travel in our modern world. Thank you for accompanying me on this exploration of Yggdrasil, the world tree of Norse mythology. Until our paths cross again beneath the sheltering branches of another mythological wonder, may your dreams be filled with the wisdom of the ancients and your days brightened by the knowledge that you too are connected to the great cosmic web of existence. Farewell, dear listeners, until we meet again.